Hello everybody, so today I am going to be making a beat using my own voice, well sampling my own voice on the machine. I've been doing a lot of writing lately and I feel like having a day to just do something fun, something random and see what I can come up with. Sometimes that's when you get your best ideas, so I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to record my voice into Logic, and I'm going to sample it into Machine, the good old Machine, the trusty friend. And then I'm going to chop it up and make a boom bap beat and see what I come up with. So yeah, stay tuned if you want to see a little beat. So I've never actually done this before. This is the first time for me, so I'm kind of just winging this whole video. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make the beat 92 BPM because I think that's a nice boom bap. If you're making boom bap beats, you want it from about 80 BPM till, I would say, till about 96. Anything over that starts getting a bit like very old school and very quick. So yeah, I'm going to go for 92 BPM and then I'm going to record some random shit in there, you know what I mean? There's me little head. Not going to lie, now I'm doing this, my brain has gone completely fucking blank. I don't know what I'm going to do. Beep 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 beep. Do 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 do. I think that's a fucking winner. I reckon that's a winner. Right, so I've got my sample. I think I was pretty naive doing this. I thought this was going to be easy, but it's actually, what I've done is absolutely atrocious. So if I can make something good out of this, it'll be an absolute miracle. I'm going to export this and chop it in Machine and see what we can come up with. So I've decided to switch to this mode to recording the actual beat, so you can actually hear it in proper real time instead of through the microphone of the camera. So first things first, I'm going to put my drums together, get an overall general vibe and foundation of the beat going. So that's where I'll generally start off with my beats. So now I have a basic drum pattern going, 92. It's got a bit of a bounce to it. One of the main things that I had to learn when I was creating boom bap beats was your drums are better off because you have the option to quantize your drums, or you also have the option to, I could just put the kick in the box. This is not the kick, but I'm just making an example. I could put that in the box there and the snare there perfectly in the grid, but it just becomes too robotic. When you look closely, you'll see that the snares are slightly off. It might be a little bit too far off. Snares are off, the hats are off, the kicks are even off. You don't want it too tight on the grid or else you lose the human element of drums. So that's just a tip. If you start now making boom bap beats and you're thinking what's off, it's probably because your drums are too tight to the grid. Took me a long time to realise that, and also I'm trying my best to play them in now and I'm still terrible at it, but it's worth practicing more and more because I'm trying to practice more so I can get used to playing to the metronome, because the more that you do, the more you do yourself, the better the drums are going to sound and the more human it's going to sound. So little tip there for you. So now I'm going to try and do something with this atrocious sample. That's actually not too bad. That's not too bad, kid. So I've got a nice little melody going. Just a very basic loop. I'm actually surprised that I've managed to salvage something out of this, but it actually sounds quite good. So now I'm going to use some sort of reverb, some effects and stuff like that, and just try to manipulate the vocal and the voice to really just transform it into something that actually sounds more so like an instrument. I've done some basic manipulation to the sound, just done a little bit of a low pass filter. So I've filtered out some of the high frequencies and just made it a little bit more like filtered. I've added some, I don't even know what half these buttons actually are. Dimension, so it's spatial, it's kind of panning it to the left and the right a bit more. I've added some reverb, quite a lot of reverb to it. I've added some saturation, I think that's saturation. Yeah, it's saturating, just means it brings the sound out more. And a tiny little bit of rhythmic delay. And then that's the finished product. So it started out like this. Very dry sound. And then I turn it into this. So yeah, that's like kind of, now I've got the basic thing going. Start adding some bass and stuff like that to the beat. And then I'm eventually going to start mixing it down. So I now have my bass in here. It's kind of went differently to what I thought it was going to be. It's kind of went dark. I thought it was going to be like this upbeat tune, but it's actually went quite like dark and aggressive. I don't know how that's happened, but yeah, this is what I have so far. So when you make a beat, remember simplicity is key. You don't need to over fucking saturate it with loads of instruments, because then a rapper or a singer or someone writing to it's just going to have no inspiration because there's nowhere for the words to go. Little tip. So for the last bit I'm going to add to this beat, I'm just going to, I like the loop that I've got, and like I say, I don't want to overcomplicate the beat. I don't want to put too much stuff in. I've tried to add a couple of instruments in, but it's just too much. It's like beefing the beat up too much. It doesn't need that much in it. So I'm basically just going to take the main sample, the vocal that I chopped up, and I'm just going to change it a little bit so it's slightly different for what I would class as the verses of the song. So what I'm pretty much going to do is just get an EQ. I'm just going to add some sort of effect to it. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think I'm happy with that. Going to add this little sweep into it, and then that'll be the last thing really. Put it into Logic, mix it down, and then I'll put the full beat on after this so you can hear the full outcome of the tune, what I've done with my vocal to turn it into this. So yeah, I think it's quite a good beat, to be honest.